And welcome back to the Click Nations Comic Book Chronicles. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty there. This is the second part of episode 265 of the Click Nations Comic Book Chronicles. And I'm going to read our first ad for the night because this is a continuation of our first episode where we have already been on for about an hour. Help keep our podcast free by shopping at Amazon. Visit cspn.us, then click the Keep Our Podcast Free link at the top of the page. From there, scroll down and click on the Amazon link to shop. Purchase items from Amazon as you normally would, whether it's books, music, electronics, jewelry, or apparel. For every purchase made on Amazon through our link, Amazon sends the CSPN a payment that helps us keep the Click Nations Comic Book Chronicles podcast free for our listeners at no extra cost to you. Amazon.com through CSPN.us. Do it today. And now, as I fly solo, we head into the news. Alrighty. So as I pull up my spreadsheet for the news. In cinematic news, solo writer Jonathan Kasdan says Lando Calrissian is pansexual. So when it comes to Lando, it would seem that his smoothness is not limited to just one sex. One of the writers of Solo, a Star Wars story, recently said that the gambling scoundrel, played by Donald Glover, is pansexual, meaning that he's not limited in his sexual choices by things such as gender or gender identity. Good for him. There's a report that Daredevil Season 3 finds the mark with bullseye casting. So Wilson Bethel was added to Season 3 of Daredevil in what was called a critical role, and a new report has come out claiming that actor will portray the mercenary villain Bullseye. Punisher Season 2 set video confirms spoilers return. So one major villain of the in the Punisher universe is set to return. He was not dead at the end of the Punisher season, and we are referring to one Jigsaw, known in the show as Billy Russo. So that is not unexpected because thankfully, that was a villain that did not die at the end of the series. So, spoiler alert, mild spoiler alert. The movie's been out for a few weeks now. Fans are still reeling from the end of Avengers Infinity War, when Thanos basically, did the deed that was in the Infinity Gauntlet at the beginning of the Infinity Gauntlet comic book series. So apparently, Sebastian Stan found out about it not through the script, but from the stuntman that portrays Bucky on screen. That must have been pretty interesting. In Deadpool 2. Negasonic Warhead's girlfriend isn't who you thought she was. So I haven't seen the movie yet. This is spoilers for me too. Apparently there is an LGBTQ relationship here. So good for Negasonic Warhead. Tom Holland responds to Stan Lee's Spider-Man comments. So apparently Stan Lee, God bless you, Stan, but hopefully you're being well taken care of now. Old Stan is 95 years old now, and he expressed that Tom Holland is a great Spider-Man. And Tom Holland wrote on, I guess, social media that he's very thankful for that, and he threw some accolades towards in Stan's direction. Jake Gyllenhaal is in talks for Spider-Man Homecoming 2 villain role, and that villain role may very well be Mysterio. So we'll see how that pans out. There's a rumor that Donald Glover of Solo fame is now in informal talks to play Black Panther 2's villain, or at least one of the villains. So there is a new Thundercats cartoon. Apparently, it's a very, very, very different looking from what you are accustomed to. There is a She-Ra reboot that is debuting. And there's a first shadowy look at the new Princess of Power, who's going to be coming to Netflix soon. Um, and there is a shadowy preview of it. And the new reboot will be called She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. And it's helmed by Lumberjanes co-creator Noelle Stevenson. Interesting. I'd like to see where that goes. Chris Pratt's Cowboy Ninja Viking adds nonstop Wrath of the Titans writers. Apparently, the writers of these movies are contributing to this Chris Pratt vehicle called Cowboy Ninja Viking, who is a man that contains 3 distinct personas, making him an unstoppable assassin. What 5-year-old's fever dream was that? Anyway. Ooh, there's a John Wick 3 teaser trailer. And it releases in exactly, the movie itself releases in exactly 1 year. I think it's time for me to watch this trailer. Apparently there are 2 characters that are being introduced, Zero and TikTok Man. They apparently are in the first teaser, so it's time for me to go watch that teaser. Arrow Season 7 will debut the most important Green Arrow character of all, the goatee. Holy cow! He's actually going to grow it now. Stephen Amell is going to be growing the Green Arrow goatee. It's about bloody time. There is a rumor out there that Supergirl Season 4 casting has teased the CW's first transgender superhero. Alrighty. Speaking of DC's television, Krypton has been renewed for Season 2. Thank Rao. There is a first look of DC Superhero Girls, a redesign for the upcoming cartoon for it's coming soon. DC Superhero Girls will be coming soon to Cartoon Network. There's some news about the Flash solo movie, which has been, kind of an on again, off again project. I'm not 100% sure where they are in production at this point, but apparently Kiersey Clemens has confirmed that she is playing Iris West in the movie. Finally, in cinematic news, John Wick's director is going to adapt Image's book Analog, a book by Jerry Duggan and David O'Sullivan. Analog is a dystopian tale set in a new future where privacy and security on the internet have been completely compromised, and secrets are now transported by hand through armed couriers. So there's an interesting story involving a courier as he finds himself the target of white nationalists, organized crime, and the NSA in a globe-spanning tale full of bone-crunching action. So that sounds like something to pick up on the stands or digitally via Comixology. So good for them. We transition over to... Oh, by the way, solicitations for the month of August 2018 have been released. Make sure you stay on top of these and get your orders into your local comic shop so that they know how to order for the books being released in August. It's important. It's far more important than you think. In comic news, what's old is new again. Marvel is relaunching West Coast Avengers, and it's definitely going to involve 2 Hawkeyes, but a whole host of other characters. I kind of missed that initial the first run of West Coast Avengers. I'm thinking of the first cover where there were boxes with, like with the heads of the candidate pictures of the candidates, headshots of the candidates for the West Coast team. Everyone, including Rom Space Knight, was there, so that was pretty interesting. And it's nice to see that some characters who have had their series canceled. As much as I'm not a fan of Gwenpool, it's nice to see that she's found a home on the West Coast Avengers team. So, for fans of Gwenpool, shout out to William Bruce West. You may want to take a look at the West Coast Avengers book as it comes out. I believe it's going to be out. Doesn't say in our notes when this is going to be released, but be on the lookout for it soon. And Marvel couldn't let the whole no event thing go for too much longer. Spider-Geddon is coming to the Marvel universe in late 2018. So, as Roddy's quick to mention, as if the Marvel universe didn't have enough to worry about with Thanos running around and Requiem and Infinity Wars, there's a Spider-Man event going on in the fall. That is Spider-Geddon. Spider-Geddon is nigh. This will be related to the previous Spider centric crossover event, which was Spider-Verse, and I remember Spider-Verse fondly. So, with any hope, Spider-Geddon will be just as good and won't disappoint. Marvel Powers United VR is still headed to Oculus this year. So apparently this is still a thing. VR apparently still hasn't gone the way of the dodo, and Marvel is developing this for Oculus headsets. The Scarlet Spider artist shares Old Man Peter Parker pitch rejected by Marvel. So the Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider artist Andre Lima Arroyo has shared a rejected Marvel pitch he dubbed Old Man Peter Parker. And I guess you can find that online. It's an interesting pitch that might be recycled at some point. Marvel just quietly announced Wolverine's new series. This actually dropped in the solicitations for August Hunt for Wolverine Dead Ends one-shot. So in the language of the solicitation, it's revealed that Wolverine will be getting a new series very, very shortly. And we're talking about old school James Howlett / Logan / Wolverine. The Cable book is ending in July. The ongoing Cable series will come to an end with July's 159. Co-writer Zach Thompson confirmed the cancellation via Twitter, and Zach Thompson, that is, has confirmed that that he and co-writer Lonnie Nadler are bringing back they're actually working on an Edge of Spider-Geddon miniseries, so they're not going away. So their work will be heard and read. Storm gets a new costume and joins a new X team. So Storm is switching teams and is joining the lineup of heroes in X-Men Red #7. That's good. All right. Disney has announced Star Wars theme parks opening dates. After years of development, Star Wars fans will finally be able to visit their favorite far, far away galaxy at Disney resorts. Announced by Disney with a teaser video, the Star Wars themed Disney Resort expansion has been officially named Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. The Star Wars theme park will first open to the public at the Disneyland Resort in California in summer 2019, then at the Disney World Resort Park in Florida in fall 2019. Seriously, folks, that's not all that far away. Mark Millar explains how that Millar World crossover could happen. So the writer, Mark Millar, It's talking about um not sure how this crossover. Um, oh, he wants to cross over some of his old Molar World properties and big events. He's busy on the film side. He's got a Netflix deal going with his Molar World stuff, but um, he still wants to kind of do, kind of work big crossover stuff with the comics. Harley Quinn's co-creator is given the perfect explanation for her costume change. Okay, so she's changed her costume. Where's the right sound effect for this? I'm looking for it, working for it. Here we go. I know PCN underscore cares a lot about this. Come on, PCN underscore dirt. You care a lot about Harley Quinn's costume change. Some sad news, although not unexpected, according to the creators. Mech Cadet U has been set to end, and Greg Pak and Tak Miyazawa spoke about the bittersweet finale. When Mech Cadet U launched last year from writer Greg Pak and artist Greg Pak and artist Takeshi Miyazawa, the duo spoke about their previous collaborations, like creating Amadeus Cho and their childhood love of giant robot stories. So the book is a lot of fun. I love it. So it's sad that it's coming to an end, but at the same time, my understanding is that Pak told the story he wanted to tell and was given just enough room by Boom Studios to tell it. So good on them. Mastodon co-founder belts out Dark Knight's metal inspired solo track. So apparently this is a metal music group called Mastodon, and Bran Daler is their lead singer, and he's got a solo track inspired by DC Comics Dark Knight's metal. It's the song takes its name from the all-universe Batman who took the powers of his universe's Flash and renamed himself the Red Death and became part of Barbatos's Nightmare Batman group. Daylor released the song this week in what DC frames as his first collaboration with the publisher. Okay. Welcome back, Super Sons. The title is returning in August. Look at that. So DC Comics is launching an Adventures of the Super Sons 12-issue maxi series this August. Kudos for them. Announced by DC Entertainment's director of publicity, Michael Schelling, on his personal Twitter account, Adventures of the Super Sons will be written by Peter Tomasi, who wrote the Rebirth era Super Sons series. That's great. And it's which is actually set to end in a week with issue number 16. So while that series was confirmed to be canceled back in February 2018, Tomasi was quick to point out back then that it's not being canceled for bad sales. So there are plans afoot to, make sure that Super Sons, the title, lives. So the artist has not yet been announced for the book. Kelly Jones, he of the dramatic art, is returning to Batman with the super long bat ears, with Kings of Fear. So former Batman editor Scott Peterson and Batman artist Kelly Jones are reuniting for a new miniseries launching in August called Batman Kings of Fear. So, if you're interested in kind of, a horror take on Batman, give that a shot. Justice League Odyssey will feature the return of Legion to the DCU. As seen in the final pages of last week's Justice League No Justice number 2, Vril Dox has made his DC Rebirth debut. So it sounds like Justice League Odyssey has big plans for the leader of Legion. So we will see how Vril Dox eventually runs into his allies in Legion. And Scott Snyder says keep an eye on Justice League Odyssey, the upcoming Justice League Odyssey, to see where that goes. Stan Sakai wins the Joe Kubert Distinguished Storyteller Award. So the first Joe Kubert Distinguished Storyteller Award was given at Comic Con Revolution to Stan Sakai. You know him from his work on Usagi Yojimbo. The book has been in production since roughly 1984, which is now fast approaching a 35th anniversary. So congratulations to Stan on that award. And you can follow the link in our show notes to see what's next for Comixology Originals. So I guess that's what the big announcement was with the image of the image with the shadows and profiles and whatnot. And that takes care of this week's news. We wrap this segment with our second ad read of the night, and that ad read is for Blue Apron. Blue Apron's meal delivery service sends you fresh ingredients and incredible recipes delivered weekly to your door. Skip the grocery store and make incredible meals at home with Blue Apron, always shipped free right to your home. And now, the listeners of the Click Nation's Comic Book Chronicles can get $30 off your first Blue Apron order. To place your first order with $30 off, and to help keep our show free for you, go to our network website at cspn.us. That's cspn.us. Then click on the Keep Our Podcast Free link at the top of the page. From there, scroll down to the Blue Apron link and sign up for your first order. Blue Apron through cspn.us. Do it today. Looking for the cash register. And with that, we wrap episode 265 of the Click Nation's Comic Book Chronicles. This has been at Agent_70, who you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Agent_70. You can find PCN_dirt at PCN_dirt and at Pop Culture Net on Twitter. You can go to his various websites, popculturenetwork.com and www.ineedcomics.com. You can find our man at TimDog98. Congratulations again to him and his family. You can find him at CBCron and at TimDogG98 and at The Click Nation. And you can visit the website at www.theclicknation.com. You can find Roddycat at Roddycat and at News Nerds Need on Twitter. You can find Roddycat also on Instagram, running the CB Caps handle at CB Caps. Once again, this has been at Agent_70 on Twitter and Instagram. I'm trying to figure out what I can play to lead us out, but I don't think I'm going to have anything. So let's just stick to the old school sound effects. This is at Agent_70. This was the Click Nation's Comic Book Chronicles, and we are signing off. Peace.